Hi, everyone. How are you? This is Dr. AJ, executive coach and leadership coach for ambitious professionals who want to be seen, heard, valued, respected, recognized, and most importantly, promoted in the ways that you want to be. Also, an author, podcaster, blogger, all of that. But that's not the point of today's topic. Today's topic really is about what types of personality do you need to have to be the best leader that you know you can be or that you want to be. The best personality to be a leader. And I come from this in let's take a step back before we talk about the best personality. There are an untold number of personality assessments out on the market. There's a Myers-Briggs, there's DISC, there's leadership voices, there's everything in between. Some of them have been standardized and accredited and validated. Others have not. For instance, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Myers-Briggs is actually one of the most inconclusive personality assessments on the market. The reason it is so popular today in today's market is because, yes, they were good researchers, but they were better marketers, and they knew how to market this tool to corporate and to decision makers. The Myers-Briggs is actually a really complicated system. You need a manual to understand who you're dealing with in terms of like other people. So it's not an easily implementable or easily understandable or easily digestible system. There are other tools out there like the DISC assessments, like motivators, like emotional intelligence tools, like the 5 voices, the 5 leadership voices from Giant Worldwide, that do make these personality assessments simpler and help you become more aware of who you are as a leader and how you communicate as a leader and how you can communicate with other people in the way that they need to hear you and in the way that they want to be heard. None of these are the points of today's talk, though. The point of today's talk is to talk about what is a personality that you need to have to be a leader. Because traditionally, historically, we're told being an effective leader is X, Y, and Z. Traditionally and historically, especially for women, for people in traditionally marginalized groups and minority groups, women of color, people of color, immigrants, people with disabilities, people on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum, we're all told that, we're all taught and we're all conditioned and we're all brainwashed to think that executive presence means that we have to conform to the idea of traditional white male leadership. So let's break that myth apart right now, because that myth is just a myth. As it turns out, if you want to look at the data, what are traditionally thought to be feminine characteristics are better to be as leadership skills. Things like collaboration, things like relying on your intuition, things like building consensus, things like not being aggressive, things like being decisive while still taking into account other people's opinions. These are all actually really good leadership skills. And there are so many data points to show that in that sense, women actually make better leaders than men do. Yet we still subscribe to this notion that executive presence means conforming to this idea of white male leadership. And that happened because our structures are built in that way. Our institutions are built in that way. That is not the truth. And that actually defines defies human nature. Because even when you think about masculine and feminine traits, the idea that confidence is somehow masculine, assertiveness is somehow masculine, and nurturing is somehow feminine. These are misnomers that were placed on the labels. There is nothing gender related about leadership. Leadership has nothing to do with your gender. Those labels were completely misplaced. The closest I can get to that, that would be sort of accurate, is maybe yin yang, but maybe not even that. Your leadership traits are what you want to make them to be. You don't have to be of any particular gender to prescribe to the leadership traits that you need. So the best personality that you need for you to be a leader is for you to be your authentic self and to lean into your strengths and your authenticity. Now, when I say that, there is a caveat in that, yes, even while leaning into your authenticity of who you are, you still have to learn how to communicate with people who are different than you. You still have to learn how to be influential. Not authoritarian, but influential. And that means you have to detach your ego. I talked about this on a previous live stream, but you have to be able to detach your ego and understand you're being authentic, but you're doing it for the purpose of service and for the purpose of impact, not intent. When you can communicate in a way that where you meet the other person's needs, and when you know that you are meeting the other person's needs and that they are hearing you the way you want them to hear you, and that you are hearing them the way they want you to hear them, that's the leadership trait you need. So what is the best personality to be an effective leader? You, the way you are now, as you practice this leadership skills, as you build this leadership muscle, because leadership is a mindset and a behavior. You have to have the right mindset to be an impactful, conscientious, compassionate, people-centered leader. It is not just in the talk you talk. It is not just in the walk you walk. It is in who you are being. That is the best personality to be a leader. Lean into your authenticity. Lean into your strengths, your unique strengths that you have developed because of your unique lived reality, not in spite of it. Don't buy in to the idea that you have to conform to white male leadership standards to have executive presence. We have so many amazing examples from women of color who every single day defy that. They are who they are. They unapologetically, unabashedly talk about their families, their children, their ethnic and racial struggles, their imposter syndromes. And in doing so, they inspire with their authenticity. And they inspire with a genuine purpose of wanting to help uplift others. And they're not coming, and that's the thing about it. They're not coming from a place of ego. They have completely detached their egos about it. There is a space, there is a point with inner work, with self-realization, with self-awareness that you can get to. And you can get to this point using the leadership voices, using DISC assessments, using EIQ assessments, emotional intelligence assessments, motivator assessments. And I'm an advanced certified practitioner of all of these tools that are SHRM compliant, EEOI compliant, APA compliant, ATD compliant, across the board compliant. So if you have any questions about these tools, don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's not the point of this. There are tools that are available for you to become more self-aware of exactly what your strengths are, exactly what being authentic means to you, exactly who you have been always wanting to portray yourself as a genuine person. And it is only when you lean into that genuineness and then attach your purpose of impact to that is the personality you need to be a leader. On the Leadership Voices, I am a pioneer connector. On the DISC assessment, I am a DI dominant. You know what that tells me about who I need to be as a leader? One thing. All of these tools tell me one thing. I just need to be myself while having an open enough mind to listen to people who are different than me and meet them where they are. And in doing so, I put aside all of these labels. I put aside all of these personality theories. I put aside all of these shoulds, ought tos, would haves, all of these. And I just talk to another person knowing at the end of the day, no matter who I talk to, they have a lot of value to add. What is my role to amplify the value that another person can add to any of my spaces? How can I uplift them? How can I shine the spotlight on them? How can I help them thrive? When I reach to that point in my conversations with anybody, that's me being the best leader I can be for myself and for everybody else. Because ultimately, that's the point of leadership, is when you are tasked with the role of being a leader, your goal is not about you climbing up the ladder. You are going to grow. That's an inevitability. You are going to develop. That's an inevitability too. Your goal as a leader is to guide people to their thriving, is to help people realize they can be uplifted, is to help them shine the best in them. The only way you can shine the best in anybody else is when you realize what is the best part of you, so you can lean into that. And across the board, the best part of you is you. That is the best personality that you can have to be a leader. So I'm doing this whole masterclass, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, on balancing all of these traits to bring out the best of your leadership. This weekend is also about creating your own script to thrive, which ties into all of that. So I have all of this content coming up. Don't hesitate to reach out to me if this is something that you need help with. If it's not something you need help with and you just needed to hear this message, I'm glad I'm telling you this. I'm glad I'm talking about this today. Because at the end of the day, your answers to who you are already lie within you. All of these tools out there can help you get to that, but you have to want to get to your authenticity. You have to want to get to your best version that you want to be as a leader. And that really, really, truly, bottom line, is the best personality that you need to be a leader. Because guess what? No matter what anybody else says about personality theories, I will be the loudest voice out there that I can be to say, you can change yourself if you don't like who you are. It is going to take strategic effort and intentional focus. But you can become the person that you want to be. You can thrive while helping other people thrive. You just have to be committed to doing the work within yourself first. Because if you cannot lead yourself, you sure as bleep cannot lead anybody else. So start by leading yourself. Figure out who is that person leading you as you. What is that personality that is helping you lead yourself? That is that same personality that is going to help you lead others as well. And that is the greatest service you can do to yourself and to the world as a leader, as somebody who wants to be impactful, as somebody who truly feels it in their heart, soul, and bones that they have to serve other people by helping them thrive. Help yourself thrive first. When you get to the bottom of that, that is what is going to make you the most effective leader, because you're going to realize it is by you being yourself, being nobody except yourself, that you're an effective leader. It is your unique story that inspires others. It is your unique journey that motivates others. It is only by you being you can you be effective. So what is holding you back from taking that step to take that inner journey? What is it that you need to figure out the keys to your authenticity, to your genuine inner fire of being the best leader to yourself? That's what I'm here to support. If you can answer that on your own, I'd love to chat with you and just have a conversation so we can get your story out there. If you need support on that, don't be ashamed. And I say that because I went on this journey on my own. I spent 10 years figuring this stuff out on my own. Do you know how much more in service I could have been had I had the help that I needed? The opportunity costs of and the marginal costs of everything that happened are so astronomical. It's mind-blowing. Which is why I went into business to do exactly this. There is help for you to realize how you can be the best leader. Don't waste years. It takes maybe 6 months for you to get to the bottom of this, solidify all of this, and amplify your impact. So when there is help being offered, the most effective leader knows they should take that help, because that is going to speed up their process and help them be more impactful, help them level up. So you do what you need to figure out the inner stuff. You figure out the inner work that's needed, and then you make that decision and commit to it that you're going to take the help, because you amplifying your voice and amplifying your impact is going to help the rest of the world. This is not about your ego. This is, yes, you have to go through your journey, but this is not about your ego. And this has nothing to do with who you are as a person. If you truly want to be a leader, invest in yourself. Go on that inner journey. Figure out when you are the best, in your most authentic. That is, again, the greatest service you can do to the entire world when you are yourself and when you serve from that place with no ego attachment. I hope that made sense. I'll be here for another few minutes. I'm going to turn off the live stream, but I'll be here for a few minutes. If you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here to help. I am here to support you. I'm here to answer your questions. And I'm here to challenge you and help you get out of your own way. And make no mistake, I will pull you out of your own way if that's what you need. So don't hesitate to lean on me. I'll be back on Monday with another live stream. I hope this was helpful. Bye.